I was really shocked to find out that only 6% of sports studies are actually done about women and women's sports. Cardiff University is carrying out a study into what happens when they have head injuries. Currently, there's absolutely no research on that anywhere in the world. In the MRI machine behind me is a rugby player from the university's female rugby team.
Yeah, I've had 2 big concussions and I already know that I'm somewhat at risk, and I think balancing is the sport I love worth potentially injuring myself long term.
All the players and the athletes behind me have got mouth guards that are measuring the impacts on their teeth, and by virtue of that we're approximating that to the impacts to their head, and by virtue of that their brain. Female brain is known to be softer, it's known to be more vulnerable to concussion. What we don't know yet is whether that translates to a greater risk of effects of subconcussive brain injury. What we're doing here is by assessing female athletes, we will see over time how true that is.
That was a SCAT test that we do with the girls after the games. So it's a test that looks at different symptoms for diagnosing concussion. So we look at their cognitive skills, we look at their memory, their balance, and these just all kind of help to paint a bit of a clinical picture of how the girls are feeling versus kind of the impacts that they've had on the pitch.
There is a lack of knowledge here which is preventing people from potentially making the game safer. 10, 15, 20 years ago, rugby for women really wasn't an activity at all. And so we've got a lack of data for women's rugby, a lack of appetite in the sector to look at women's sports. So you add the two together, you end up where there's a very, very limited supply of data that we're trying to understand the risks of playing contact sport, rugby being one of them.
The work that they're doing with these players is so important. It's just about being able to empower people to actually know what they're working with and make the right decisions for them.